Hi, I'm Shelby, one of the Warrior coaches, and we are going to run through the 10 lower body exercises that are listed on your at-home workout guide. So we're going to start with a wall sit. So all you need is just the wall and your body weight, and you want to walk your feet out so they're about shoulder distance apart, and sit so that your legs are at a 90-degree angle, and make sure your lower back is nice and flat against the wall. And you will just hold this and try not to use your arms to hold yourself up. Just try to use your legs are the only thing that is holding you up. So that is a wall sit. Our next exercise is just a body weight squat. So for this, you want to take whatever stance is most comfortable for you. For me, I like to turn my toes out slightly, and you're just going to simply lower so that your knees are about a 90-degree angle, so you can see here, and stand back up. Simple as that. You can add weights if you want to. Dumbbells are helpful. You can hold them on your shoulders and add a little weight that way to make it harder. Our next exercise is alternating lunges. So these, you're just going to take one foot and take a large step forward, lunge, and step back, and alternate. And the key here is to take a big enough step so that your knee is in line with your ankle and it's not going over or behind. You want it right on top. And step back and alternate sides. If it's easier for you, you can just keep your wide stance and step up and down like this, and then switch. This will take a little less balance. Our next exercise are lateral squat walks. So for this, you're just going to hold a squat position. You don't quite have to go as low as you would in a normal squat, and you're just going to walk back and forth, taking about 2-foot steps to each side, and then making sure you're alternating sides. Okay, so next we'll do deadlifts. So I'm going to use some dumbbells for this, but you could also just use your body weight. And you're going to have your feet about shoulder distance apart, and you're just going to keep your legs mostly straight with a slight bend, and you're going to go down, touch the ground or your toes or your shins as far as you can go, and come back up. And the key here is to keep your back nice and flat. I think about keeping my shoulders rolled back, keeping my head up. It helps to look at the wall in front of you, and you're just going to lower and come back up. Our next exercise is glute bridges. So for this, you'll have to lay on the ground. And I usually tell people to keep your feet about fingertip distance apart. So when you lay down, have your fingertips touch the backs of your feet or your heels. And that's about how far your legs should be out. And you're just going to focus on raising your hips into the air and back down. And this will primarily target your glutes. Our next exercise is jump squats. So this is just a variation of the body weight squat that I already showed. So you're going to squat down, jump up as high as you can, and try to land nice and light so that it's easy on your knees. If you have knee problems, probably a bad exercise for you. I would stick away from that one. And next we have one-legged chair sits. And I don't have a chair, so I'm just going to pretend. But you'll pretend there's a chair behind me, a safe distance away to just sit down and stand back up. But instead of doing it with 2 legs, you're going to do it with 1 leg, and you'll sit on your chair and just stand back up. As easy as that. And then make sure you're switching legs. Sit and come back up. And next we have side-stepping lunges. So instead of alternating lunges to the front like I showed you before, you're now just going to step out to the side, taking a pretty wide stance, about maybe 3 feet or so, and really thinking about keeping your weight in that heel and driving your hips backwards and coming back up. And you'll feel that in your glutes as well, and then making sure you're doing both sides on that exercise. And lastly, we have elevated lunges. So for this one, you'll need a chair as well, and you'll just lift your back leg up on my pretend chair and lunge with your back leg up. That way it's really putting emphasis on that front leg. And so again, sorry, it's a little hard without a chair here. but pretend that my back leg is up. And whenever you're lunging down, you want to make sure that, again, your knee is over your ankle and it's not in front or behind. So that's just another harder variation of the regular lunges.